What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ake Padre, a fatherhood podcast about Latino fatherhood, fatherhood in general, mental health, relationships, and everything in between. I am one of your hosts, Froy, and I got my boy here, Chris.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good night, guys. Buenas noches. Buenas
Buenas
noches.
noches, buenas noches. How you doing, Chris? How's your week going?
Well,
I know
it's
it's
just the
Tuesday.
beginning so far. So far, so good. I mean, nothing to complain about so far.
All right, all right. I'm.
Gas went down a little bit, so that's always good.
Oh, there you go. You've been driving a lot, huh?
Yes, sir. But now than that, we're good.
Sick. So, for those of you joining us today, we are only on YouTube. The reason we did this is we are having some issues where Instagram was cutting us off. The audio was delayed. It was some technical issues that not necessarily us, but Instagram was just making it difficult. Plus, on YouTube, we got this bigger screen. You can see us a little clear, yada yada yada. We can all
Yeah,
chat
better,
it up.
better
It's a
quality.
lot clearer. It's a lot nicer. So I thought it would be a good thing for us to try. Um, I may turn on our Chris. I'll have you activate our QP live and just have it there on the background. If people want to ask questions, we'll direct them to the YouTube. Um, but yeah, man, today should be an interesting one. I have a buddy of mine that will join us a little bit later today. But the topic for today is essentially going to be coaching. We've touched on this topic before when we were talking about other things, but I thought it would be a good one to dedicate to the show.
What type
So
of coaching,
essentially,
bro?
is coaching your kids. So whether you're the kids' soccer coach, softball coach, whatever sports they're doing, or even if it's teaching them, I guess maybe like teaching them an instrument or showing them, just being their coach, their mentor for said activity, where you're the coach, mentor, teacher to your kid.
Right.
And I thought it'd be a good one for us to have and discuss maybe some downfalls. Um, I know you're probably going through some items right now where you're not necessarily the coach, but you're coaching him. You're coaching
Of
Adrian.
course.
I got some experience in my belt. I did some coaching in high school with some. I coached the girls teams and I coached the boys teams. So I had a little experience coaching both of them. I was able to coach another AYSO team out in Palos Verdes. Completely different. I'm used to coaching a bunch of Latino kids and then going up there and coaching a bunch of white boys. It's definitely different
Yep.
culture, but yeah,
Culture
man. So
difference.
to start us off, Chris, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about your experience before my boy jumps on. You are coaching Adrian. You're like his personal coach, right? Like how's that going for you?
Yeah, like after obviously his whatever league he's in and whatever other training, it's basically the coach at home or watch video, right? So the main thing is kind of like a follow through of whatever he's learned throughout that week, right?
Okay.
Um, a couple months back, the league that he was on that finished, and then he entered in this other training program called STR. It's in Montebello. That
Okay.
they train out of Sher High School in Montebello, and through that training program's got I think like over 50 kids, over 40 kids, ranging from I think grade school all the way to high school. So he's learned a lot in that. That's twice a week in the evenings, and he's about to start another league. Actually, I think believe next week in Pico, and that's another one and another training, kind of like camp thing in July. Hopefully with the high school. But yeah, after doing all that, it's basically more like workout. Also trying to learn how to, for him to learn how to rest his muscles, his ligaments. Um, Go through whatever workouts he went through throughout the week, see what he could improve, what he's learned, pretty much just refining whatever he did throughout the week,
Okay.
and watch video, watch a lot of video.
Um, as far as like the reception that what you're getting from him, do you find like it's like I guess if he wasn't if since he's your kid, do you feel like you can kind of go harder on him,
Yeah,
or or do you try to be like, all right, I'm coaching you now. Yeah, you're my son, but I'm coaching you. I want to kind of keep a line of division of I'm not your dad. Right now, I'm your coach.
no, yeah, definitely no. And also, it has a lot to do with whatever relationship you have with your kid, right? So if you have that good relationship with your child, obviously he's gonna listen to whatever you're telling him, right? Um, and we kind of have this not a deal, but this understanding that whenever we are playing basketball, coaching, whatever we're going through, we're giving it 100%.
Yeah,
There's no I can't, I don't want to. I'm tired. Oh, I'm already over it. No, none of that. The importance is doing what he wants, which is it. That's what he wants. That's what he wants to do. So we got to give 100%, effort. But there hasn't been any issue as far as him. You know what, Dad? Nah, I don't want to listen to you because you're my dad. Matter of
yeah,
fact, he's been uh, he's been showing off, bro. He's been showing off. He's been learning a lot, and he's been impressing me. Where I don't really have to tell him so much anymore. Everything is pretty much uh, going off the bat.
yeah,
Going off the bat. He's like, Dad, this is what I learned. Dad, this is what I'm doing. This is how we're doing it. I go, all right, well, you teach me, and we'll go from there. So
yeah.
we kind of feed off each other, and that's been working pretty good.
All right, all right.
Obviously, with whatever time we do have.
Yeah. Uh, when you were growing up, did your dad coach you at all? No.
Sports, no. His coaching was more towards school and life lessons, put it that way.
Okay.
But sports, no, not at all. Not at
Okay.
all, actually.
Um, your daughter, Iris,
Hmm.
she just started a sport, right?
Yeah, volleyball.
Do you coach her?
Um, with hers a little different because uh, she's a little bit more reserved,
Yeah.
and she only wants to do it when she has training. She doesn't want to do training outside of training, or if she does, she wants to do it on her own. She's that type of I'll do it on my time, on my terms type of thing. She's not like Adrian, where Adrian wants to show off to me and show me what he's learned, versus she'll tell me, "Oh, Dad, we did this, we did that," but that's it. She won't really go out of her way, and you know. And then plus with Iris, all her practices, I'm right there live, so I get to see what she does.
Exactly. Okay. Okay.
So
Um.
yeah, there is a big difference.
So the part that I guess I'm not there yet, right? I'm not there yet because my
Not as intensive, no.
no, I'm not there yet because my daughter obviously she's played soccer, and it's hard because she was 4, like she was barely 4. She kicked the ball, but to get her to we were trying to find out if she liked it, right? And so
Yeah,
to be like, do you want to, mija, ven, come here. Let me actually, no, this is how you stop the ball. This is how like, it's hard. It's hard to coach her, especially when we're trying to find out if she even likes it, right?
Right.
So that was a little hard. But I do have the experience from coaching, and
Mm-hmm.
when and if we get to that point, I do want to coach her. Obviously, it's your kid, right? You want to coach them, and you want to give whatever knowledge and pass whatever knowledge you have. But I want to coach her because, like, there's things that I picked up from a bunch of different coaches that I think would work and wouldn't work, and I want to make sure that I'm there to do that, right?
Right.
But I think a question that'll probably come up too right now when our boy jumps on is, do you coach different when you're coaching a boy and when you're coaching a girl? Why or why not?
Um, I think more than it being a boy and a girl, I think the bigger difference would be if they're really putting effort into it,
Yeah,
or they really want to put effort into it, right? Versus one's dragging and the other one is pulling, pushing to get better, to be better, to learn a different move, position, or whatever it might be.
yeah. Um, so I coached both boys and girls, right? When we coached the girls, it wasn't necessarily like we were softer on them, but I mean, they were high school girls. They were like, I think they were like sophomores, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would go through their moods of like, well, I don't feel like doing it today. And so you have to go through the like, well, I mean, you don't feel like doing it today, but you're here, so might as well take advantage of the time they're here. Let's get to work, right? O se sientan a platicar. They're at that age where they just want, they're making
Well,
friends and stuff, and so it's hard to navigate those waters. Where if it was the boys, I mean, I think naturally you try to be more sensitive to the women.
well, look at this thing. You remember Ed
Yeah.
Nemrick? He's actually a coach at that high school, at that Sure High School.
Hmm.
I believe he coaches some sort of track or something like that.
Yeah, he does
And
track and field.
he's saying that he prefers to coach girls. You know, um, I'm assuming also it depends on what type of coach you are.
Hmm.
If you're that type of person that prefers to coach men over coaching girls, women, then obviously that's the type of energy that you're gonna give out.
Yeah,
If people see that you put more effort into coaching males versus females, then obviously that's oh, he did girls flag football as well, yeah. So there you go.
probably for
And
like,
he's like Ted Bundy, bro. He's a high school he's a high school phenom.
let's see,
There you go.
was that 4 touchdowns at Polk High?
There you go.
4 touchdowns in a game. um,
So I mean I can see that. I can see that where girls are. I guess if you are that coach,
yeah,
where that they are gonna all ears onto what you have to say versus some boys, and I've seen it in not in my son's team, but like other teams that they played with, where the boys just do whatever they want, especially if they're if they know how to play the sport, they just
yeah,
clown around. Yeah, they win the game and gets the job done, but it's not a it's not a team that's you could tell it's not a team that's been coached. It's just a team of a lot of good players that technically they win.
yeah, yeah. So Yeah, and I again I had that experience that I coached, but that was years ago, right? So
Hmm.
obviously I'm a little rusty when it comes to that. Whatever experience I had at the time is must have been different. Obviously trying to coach now would take me a little bit to warm up to things, but I'd be able to do it, and I look forward to it. With that, I want to bring on my buddy Danny. He is a youth coach now. He coaches his daughter, I believe. He'll let us know right now. But we found a dad out in the wild, guys. Somebody that's out there doing the thing too. So I want to bring him in and have him introduce himself, and then shoot the shit a little bit and get his input. But let me bring him on. Danny, what's up, baby? How you
Hey, how
doing?
you guys doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What's
Just
up? What's
running from
up?
Well,
a game. Running
well,
from a game. That's
good
how we
night,
talk.
good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
I know you're nervous. It's okay.
Good evening. Good evening.
So Danny, so what we were talking about, obviously, and you and I had talked about this before, is coaching your kids, right? Some of the downfalls, some of the experiences, and maybe tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. What sport you're coaching and who you're coaching, how that's going.
Yeah. So once again, good evening. My name is Danny Cardenas. I've been out here coaching for quite a few years right now. Currently, I coach my two daughters. So one of them is 10. Her name is Sophia, and the other one is Susie, who's 6. So I get to see different angles, right, when it comes down to coaching. So, um, no, right now, as a matter of fact, like I was saying, I'm rushing from a game. For those of you that are in the softball world, All Star season just started. So there is tournaments, there is practice games, and it's just go, 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 go nonstop. So right now, I'm actually coaching at Whittier. I live in Whittier, so we support the Whittier Girls Softball League out here. Shout out to WGSL. Again, Sophia started in this league from when she was 5 years old, and her little sister followed her footsteps. So I got an opportunity to be an assistant coach, right? Be someone that's just enjoying the game, and then now managing the actual team. So that's also one of those things that uh, comes with a lot, right? It comes with a lot when you start managing, and now you're in charge of everything from the little kids to the parents to making sure everything is the way that it's supposed to. So it's been a fun experience. Trust me, I won't change it for the world, and I can do it.
How long have you been coaching for, Danny?
Now it's gonna be, I want to say about 5 years. I'm going on my 6th year right now. So again, I started when they were just babies, man, 5 years old.
5 years old. How receptive were they back then? We said you were an assistant coach. You were kind of just watching, no?
Yeah, so I go out there and I threw the ball to 5 and 6 year olds. So one of the things that we say out there, their attention span is their age plus 5 seconds. So if they're 5, their attention span is 10 seconds. So it's just repeating, right? Repeating. And then it's just pretty awesome when you see them do something that they had no idea they're capable of doing, right? And then they turn around and play with the dirt, or they turn around and chase butterflies. So that's how I got my coaching started, man. Just coaching little Sophia when she was 5 years old.
All right. So now you said 10, right?
Correct.
She's 10. She's obviously she's grasped the concept. She knows what to do. I'm sure there's a little bit of competitiveness, that's coming out of her. Um, how do you draw the line between dad and coach?
Man,
Or is it like you walk onto the field and it's like, all right, mija, I'm not your papa right now. I'm coach. So you're gonna get mad at me, pero
yeah. No, it's a perfect point. I didn't want to pull your guys' heartstrings so soon, on this
do
talk,
it.
but let me tell you, let me say this, and I'm sure a lot of those dads out there know what I mean when I talk about you coaching your own daughter or son. You are the hardest on them. No ands, ifs, or buts. You expect 10 times more, and you forget that they're just like the other player next to them.
Hmm.
So I'll tell you this: one of these days, a while back, a couple seasons ago, Sophia must have been about 8.5. I was really tough on her. I was there was one play where she got hit, and the manager dad came into play, right? And instead of me identifying whether or not she was really hurt, I started telling her to get up. Right? Just get up, get up. And I'm talking about everybody's listening to me. I'm at first base telling her to get up. An 8.5-year-old that just got hit with the ball, right? Never in my mind did it cross, hey, maybe she might be really hurt.
Yeah.
Right? So that had a big impact in my life, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got into conversations with my wife,
Of
right?
course.
And the very first thing that really caught my attention when my wife said, everybody just saw you do that. Right? Oh man, that hurt. That hurt. And the worst part about it is that I have an incredible young lady, man, and my daughter Sophia. She had the courage to come and tell me, Dad, I don't like how you treat me. You don't treat me the same as everyone else, right? And that hurt, man. Again, you trying to be so proud of your kids, and in the heat of the moment, you forget about what's really important, which is you spending that time with your daughter, right? So that hurt. So Sophia and I talked, and again, mind you, this isn't a conversation that I'm having with an 8.5, almost 9-year-old little girl. She said, "Look, Dad, when we're in the field, you're my coach. But the moment we get in that truck, Dad, I want you to be my dad, right?" And you know what? Again, I'm not gonna lie to you. I shed some tears, man, because I was for her to go ahead and have the courage to tell me that. That just did something to me, right? And from that day forward, it changed my mindset on how I actually approach this coaching life, right? This dad coach, this coach dad, and that's what happens. So since then till now, every time we're in the field, I'm not dad, I'm coach. So hey, Coach Danny, what do I do now? Hey, Coach, what? And again, it's one of the best feelings out there, right? Because I know the moment we get in that truck, it's back to Sophia and Dad.
Yeah.
I
And
built
it's
a
funny you're saying that. And it's funny you're saying that. And sorry to cut you off a little bit, but
yeah.
it's funny you're saying that. And I saw a video or a post or a commercial, no me acuerdo exactly, where it was like the coach dad, right? Came in with the kids and metieron la troca, right? And then he literally did this. All right, guys. He took his hat, he took it off. Coaching hat is off. Let's go eat pizza. Let's go do this. It was like, all right. The kids knew, aquí ya me quité la cachucha. Let's talk.
Yep.
How was your game? Tell me about it. Like, what do you think? Or the conversation and the dynamic changed from being the coach on the field to now. Okay, now I'm your dad. I can talk to you, and I'm your dad now.
Yeah, man. Again, it was life changing for me, and I'm not saying that lightly. I think it made me realize that just you got to take a moment and enjoy what it is that you're doing. Enjoy how difficult it is, what it is that you're asking these young ladies to do, man. And again, Sophia, not because she's my own kid, but she's not a bad softball player, right? But the fact that she has this personality and this courage, this confidence in her, just makes me even more proud, right? It makes me proud to coach her, but it makes me more proud to actually be her dad and say, yeah, that's my daughter. She wears 42. She understands the concept of 42, especially out here. If you're a Dodger, if you're a old school Brooklyn Bum fan,
Hold on, bro. Troy, what's 42?
What are you talking about? Jackie
Yeah,
Robinson. The
what does
fuck?
the number 42 mean?
For Jackie Robinson. The fuck you talking
I,
about?
I just want to make sure you're not a
just
baseball
wanted to
fan,
make
bro.
sure.
That's why.
We just
I
wanted to
want
make
to
sure.
make sure.
How do I mute this? Nah, just kidding.
I gotta make sure.
No,
You're the
hey, it's
I
okay.
agree,
It's okay.
Chris.
It's
I
okay.
agree.
It's
You just
okay.
never know.
You're the soccer fan here. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no. So again, it brings a lot, right? And we've watched Jackie Robinson. She is definitely a student of the game. And again, I think a lot of our parents, a lot of us parents like to say that, oh, my kid is this, my kid is that. I think Sophia shows you what an example of a positive softball player that enjoys the game, but most importantly, enjoys learning it. I think that's really what I'm most proud of when it comes down to my daughter.
That also takes a lot because just like how you said, us parents we like to hype up our kids, right? And we also got to understand when, to be honest with you, when our kids suck, you know,
Right.
That was
or
gonna
or
be my
when
follow up.
or when they're not interested in the game, right? My son played first baseball. You know, That's the first thing that we introduced, baseball, because in the house, I mean, I wear my Dodger hat every day,
Right.
so everything is always baseball, 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 baseball. With my side of the family, his mom's side of the family, everything is baseball. Baseball games. That's all we go to. And he played it, and he played it okay. He wasn't the best at it, but he was decent, right? But it was never like he didn't want. I don't want to play, or that I'm this and that. He just played, right? We introduced it. He played. He was okay at it. Not until after COVID, when the signups were again, he's like, I don't want to play baseball, bro.
That hurt you.
I already had the glove. I already had the new bat. I had the cleats. I still have the cleats. You know, okay. Obviously, they don't fit them anymore. It didn't hurt me, but at the same time, I was like, dude, but you've already been playing.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna stop? You already know how to play. And not secretly, but kind of, he had been playing basketball at home, and he was talking about basketball more and more. And I know basketball, but not as much as football or baseball, right? And he kept on telling me basketball, basketball, basketball until one day I saw him playing. He was okay. When he started también, even he's like, Dad, don't even show me those videos when I first started because I cringe. It was horrible. Look at my shot. I go, well, there you go. Use that as motivation. Use that as a guide from from where you started to where you're at now, and why you are there and how you got there, right? So now he's like answering all those questions by himself. Well, because I practice. I go, I told you. I told you. You were gonna start to hate me, or you were gonna start to talk crap about me because I told you I was gonna be repetitive. If you want to get good at something, you have to do it over and over
Yeah.
and over and over, right? And look at where you're at now. Oh, you were right. This and that. Pero también, it took him to tell me I don't want to play a sport that is literally right next to our heart, because it literally runs in our blood,
Mhm.
depending where you're from and how you grew up, versus a sport that, it's still part of, I guess, the LA culture, but it's not the Dodgers.
Yeah, you're
It's not.
right, Chris. And to that point, right? One of the biggest mistakes is that we try to live through our kids,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We're trying to get that base hit, and it's one of those things where you have to take a step back. You have to take a step
Yeah.
back and let them do whatever it is that they want to do, right?
Yeah.
Um, I often wonder, what if she would have told me, "Hey, Dad, I want to cheerlead," right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what I mean? So the fact that I have two young ladies that enjoy playing softball, um, as a dad, or again, back to your point, right? A bat and a ball. That's what we grew up on, right? Taking a
Mhm.
taking a glove to Dodger Stadium and trying to see if we can get a foul ball. It never happens. Um, those things, and then
Yeah.
you turn around and you watch your kids. Hey, there's a reason why they pay baseball players a lot of money, man, because baseball's not easy. Softball's not easy, right? Just think about it. Softball, everything gets closer in, right? And you're asking these kids to get in front of a ball that's hit. You know what I mean? Hey, I know dads out there that are like,
that
"Nah, I'm good."
that that's what that was one of the hardest thing for me to teach my son when he started learning how to catch, because I taught him on a regular baseball. I didn't teach him on a t-ball. you know
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
taught him with the regular baseball. It's harder.
yeah.
It's harder, and it hurts more.
You give them no
It
choice.
sound
You give them no
and
choice.
and with me, I was trying to teach him how I learned.
Right.
Which, it's okay, but at the same time, it's not, because we learn more like we had to learn. We had to learn in order to play, be able to play with the other neighborhood kids, or be able to be picked. When they made teams at school, or when they made teams around the neighborhood. Because if you didn't know that, you weren't gonna get picked. And learning how to play more a la fuerza because I had to, versus trying to teach him, how to get in front, like I said, how to get in front of the ball, how to get in front of a speeding ball, which is what they teach you.
Right.
Get in front, getting, on your stance,
Yeah.
and make sure you don't let that ball go through, no matter how fast it's coming. And again, like you said, teaching a 5 year old, a 6 year old how to do that, obviously, they're gonna one. If the ball hits them, they're gonna get a fear of the ball, right?
Yeah.
Which is what happened to my son.
Right.
I threw him a ball and he missed it. Obviously, hit him in the face. And the first thing is, no, I don't want to anymore because it hurts.
I'm done.
Okay, well, catch the and my instinct is, well, don't let it hit your face.
Yeah.
Catch the ball. You have an instrument. You have a tool that is meant to catch the ball. Use it. You
It's
know.
crazy that you say that. Sorry to cut you off, Chris, but it's crazy that you say that because I was talking to Sophia the other day. We went out early to go play some catch, right? And I told her, I said, "Hey, 5 years ago, this was what I was dreaming of: being able to throw you a ball confidently, and you throwing it right back." And again, as you get older as a dad, your perspective changes on a lot of things, man. And you enjoy the little moments a little bit more if you give yourself a chance to. I think that's one of the things that as dads, we tend to forget sometimes, right? Is that it's the little moments, right? The fact that your daughter, your son is across from you, having these moments, again, they go a long way. And not to get all cheesy on you or anything like that, but as I get older, I appreciate them more. There's going to come a time where my daughter might not want to hang out with me anymore, right? Dad, you're boring. Dad, you're dad. Like,
Hey,
you know what I mean? And
for a story of my life, right?
Yeah, and it's gonna be like
Trust
you're
me.
coach, and
If
then
you go
after you're
back
done being
to
coach,
yeah, if
hasta
you
ahí
go back
llegaste.
to if you go back a few episodes, we spoke
exactly.
about that.
So this is
And
what connects us, man. This is what connects us.
but the thing is, in order to get there, we don't know that, obviously, right? We're thinking that they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna learn like us. They're
Right.
gonna learn, or maybe they're gonna catch on to it quickly, because, oh, well, he watches baseball all the time with me. He watches me play baseball. He might watch his brother or sister play baseball. He should already know. And no, it's a difficult. Every sport has their own technical uh, advantages and disadvantages, right?
Right.
Like in soccer, there's a certain there's certain ways to stop a ball, right? You don't want the ball to you don't want to stop the ball and then it bounces or it bounces back or it bounces forward, right? Because then you give advantage to the other player. You got to make sure that you stop the ball and it stays there. Well, in order to do that, there's certain techniques that you have to practice to do it in baseball, right? If you're trying to get in front of a line drive or you're trying to get in front of a hit, and it's coming towards you, most kids do the side thing, right? Because they don't want to get
Yep.
hit
Hmm.
or they whatever. But the actual way to do it is square up and get in front of it, right?
Yeah.
Follow through and throw it to whatever base it's supposed to be. But without making the mistakes and without repetition, they're not gonna know that.
Exactly. That's the one
So
thing, right? Hey, mistakes are gonna happen. It's what do we do after that, right?
you
Are we
gotta
gonna?
learn.
We gotta
You gotta
fix it.
learn from it.
We
Yeah,
gotta
you gotta
fix something.
fix
We
it.
gotta learn from it. And again, a team sport for you to go ahead and manage it. Now, mind you, this is rec ball for me, right? So it's a
Yeah,
recreational league. There's tons and tons all over Southern California. There's tons and tons here around my area.
yeah.
But you
And
as a
that and the,
manager,
and rec ball is not as hardcore as once you start getting
and that's the
into
crazy part about it. Whittier,
AAU and all that shit.
Whittier
Whittier's
runs it.
crazy.
Whittier
Yeah,
runs it like if it
yeah,
was, next level stuff. And that's where the competition comes in, right? And again, mind you, there's going to be girls that have never touched a softball before, and you're about to go manage them. You have to make sure that you are fully aware of what can happen if something doesn't go your way and they end up, back to your point, end up getting hit, right? At the end of the day, you're protecting them. But you most importantly want to show them how fun it is and that they have the ability to do it if they really work back at it, like you said, right? If they go through the repetitions and they work at it, it's so amazing to see someone who's never played make a great play because that just made their entire year.
Yeah, the
And,
progress. Yep.
and they're gonna make mom and dad go spend another $250 for next season, right? And get a new bat. But again, that's the motivation. That's what drives me. I don't get paid to go out there and teach 12 girls how to play softball, including my
Yeah,
own.
it's
You know
all
what I mean? I
volunteer.
don't.
Yeah.
I enjoy the love of it, right? That's really what it is. So,
And
but
and
yeah,
that's one thing that I appreciate of coaches. I personally I still talk to my t-ball coaches, bro, from when I started. You know, you're talking about they're already in their 50s, maybe late 50s, and I still, and every once in a while on Instagram or Facebook, you know, joke around or tell them, hey, this, what advice you have, this is going on, blah blah blah. So to me, coaches, especially if it's a good coach, it's like it's kind of like having a second dad or a highly respected
a
uncle,
mentor. Yeah, somebody
because
look up.
somebody you look up to, especially if that coach paid attention to you, especially if that coach put in that time, that effort to push you to do better, right? And my son had a coach like that where I told him he just technically he retired from coaching because his son's already going to high school, and obviously coaching high school kids is a completely
Right.
different spectrum. I told him, man, hey, my son Adrian, he thinks very highly of you. He respects you a lot. I respect you a lot as a friend, and obviously as a coach, because I know what it means to some of these kids. And some of these kids don't have a father figure or a mother figure, and it's somebody that they can look up to as far as any situation,
Yeah.
because you just don't know what can happen or what they go through outside of whatever sport it is that you're coaching.
Yeah. Froy, I don't know if you want to ask another question because I got a little segue here.
No, no, no. If you got something, I'm letting you guys talk. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
The goal here is for you guys. I want you guys to share about your coaching experience, which is fine. You guys are good. I have questions, but no, no, no. If you got something, let's hear it, man. It's all
I
good.
mean, the question that I want to jump into, Chris, because you keep talking about your son and I keep talking about my daughter, right? Two different worlds.
Yeah.
Two different
That's
worlds.
what I was gonna ask next too.
Okay, cool. See, that's why we're
Yeah, yeah.
we're
No,
like,
that's what I was gonna ask next. Like, what would be the difference between coaching your son and your daughter?
yeah. So I didn't get a chance to coach my son. My son is now 20. He's about to turn 21 here. He played pony baseball, and again, I never got involved in coaching him. But one of the things that I remember, it was just nothing but, hey, what are you doing? Hey, right? It was a lot more tough, a lot more stern. And I remember that, right? And again, we are all gonna make mistakes once we get into this world, right? You try to do it a certain way, and you have to be mindful of who you're teaching. And the crazy part about all that is that you can't be like that with girls, right?
Why
I
not?
it's just, again, they have a different level of um sensitivity.
You
They
know what,
do.
bro? Hold on. Sorry to stop you. My daughter told me not to be soft on her, bro.
Yeah, right.
She
Again,
said, she said, no, she said not to. She said, don't treat me like a little girl. Don't
right.
treat me like a little baby. My daughter's 10 as well. She's
Okay.
treat me like you treat Adrian.
And that's the point. And that's the point because
Yeah,
you're gonna have 12 different personalities once you sign up
yeah,
to manage a team, right?
yeah.
And how do you balance all of that? Because I have girls that if I look at and I say something a certain way, they shut down. And guess what? There's this saying in baseball and softball. Hey, the moment you're not focused, that ball will find you.
Yep.
That ball will always find you. If you are not in your right mind, somehow, some way, the next play is going to come to you, and now it's going to be twice as worse as it was the first time. And again, to that point, right? Mind you, I also coach 5-year-olds, right? I made a 5-year-old cry the other day, and again, unintentional, right? I wasn't just,
Yeah.
hey,
You're passionate, bro.
I'm a pop your balloon. But I said something to her about, hey, you got to make sure you run. and she just looked at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Which goes with what you were saying a couple episodes ago, Freud. You know, uh, when is it when, especially somebody that's five or below, we try to teach them the right or wrong, or the dangers of thing, and we talk to them, hey, don't do this, no hagas esto, el otro, or this is why it's best for you to do this way. Are they understanding all that? Are
right.
they going to understand why they have to run the lap, why they have to slide instead of just running through, or why we have to follow through on a certain throw, or this is how you open up your glove to catch the ball instead of close.
You gotta
Yeah.
make
When
At
when
that at
when
that
where
age,
you gotta
where
make it
is
interesting. You
that
gotta make it fun for them.
where is that line where we gotta say, as not just parents but coaches, okay, let me slow down a little bit, because she might not or he might not understand the information that I'm trying to push forward.
yeah, and at that age, and Danny, I don't know if we caught one of the other ones, but we were talking about essentially what Chris is saying is, it's just at that younger age, it's more about enjoying, having
Fun.
fun, and making the memory. And if you like it, great, let's push it that way.
Right.
But I think as men, and I think as Latino fathers too, because just the way that we grew up, generally speaking, it was we got that shit early, right? And even if you were young, maybe you had to work. I don't know. The situations were different for everybody. But I think we automatically go into wanting to teach a lesson, wanting to teach this at 5, at 4.
Right.
You're gonna have to repeat it 20 times.
All they want is a snack bag.
Yeah,
All they want is
Simon.
a snack bag at the end of
They,
the day. That's all
when
they
they're
care.
done, we're getting snacks. Ooh, look,
Yep.
did you have fun today? Yeah, but look, I got apple juice. Like like it's different. And earlier before you jumped on, we were talking about how I've coached in the past. Not my kids, but I've coached like high school. I coached high school soccer, and well, it was all high school soccer because I coached another AYSO team out in Palos Verdes. But coaching them, you learn how to talk to people. You learn how to I coach the girls and I coach the boys, and yes, you're automatically a little more sensitive to the women, to the girls, depending on their personalities too. But if I were to start coaching my daughter, um, yeah, I think I would automatically go into like, all right, no, you're my daughter. I want to make sure that you're the best one out there, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and it's by default, not because I'm gonna be an asshole about it, but it's just I think we default to that, and that's just a little bit of the pride that we have as dads.
Unfortunately, that's also the expectation, Freud. The expectation from everyone else around you is that if you're coaching, obviously you know what you're doing. Your daughter
The
should
the
be the better one on the team, no matter
the
what.
the,
That's
the
And that's
interesting.
the
kid the kid
pressure that we have as
bro,
parents.
put it this way. In one of my sons, and you saw one of his games, Troy. The coach's sons were in the team, and not to talk crap or anything, which is great what he's doing. Both of the kids are not with Down syndrome, but they have
They're autistic.
they're autistic.
Mhm.
Both of them, bro. One of them is like heavy, and the other one is un poquito. So just imagine, they're all eighth graders basically, right? And they all the kids kind of know each other from school more or less. And the dad is your coach. So not only how hard is it on the kid, depending on how hard the kid is pushing, right, or the coach, but how hard is it on the coach too, as a dad, knowing that your kids are not gonna be what people might expect, you know, uh, if they don't know you, right, or if they don't know the situation, or they might even question it. Why is he letting them play with all these kids that are a lot more advanced? Pobrecitos estos niños, and they shouldn't be treated that way, or however you see it, right? Um, but they played, and everybody knew that whenever they got the ball, nobody would try to take the ball away from them or anything. Let them score. But at the same time, my son was telling me at one point, he's like, Dad, that's cool and everything, but he's like, what is the dad teaching them? That they can score easily in life or they can get away with stuff just because they're autistic, you know?
I have a different perspective on that, man. I have a different perspective because back to your point earlier about how you said your 10-year-old daughter was like, hey, don't be soft on me, treat me a certain way,
Yeah,
right? I think as a
yeah.
dad, especially being in that situation, and I'm blessed to have not have experienced that, right? But at the same time, I think you want to give your kids in that situation some sense of normality. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well,
And,
yeah, no,
Inclusion.
mine is
inclusion,
more like a question of to myself, like how would
right?
I do it, you know?
Right.
Because
It's hard. Yeah.
it's very very difficult. Like you
Well,
said, it's expected that the coach's kids are better,
right.
regardless, right?
Right.
Uh, Obviously, once you get to know or find out about a situation, then obviously you know you could change your mind or whatnot.
Right.
But
Th-
you know, not only that, but the kid also, I'm thinking, you know, hey, I suck, or other kids telling them, hey, you know what, you suck. And maybe not during the game, but at
Yeah.
school, you know, because
Yeah.
again, most of these kids go to the same schools
This
and
world is
they're
cruel,
around
bro.
each other. Yeah,
This world
very.
is cruel, and you have to show your kids. Uh, it, they have to be able to understand that this world is not nice, right?
Yeah.
You can make a difference, right? Just like dad's trying to make a difference. Dad is going out there giving his time to a bunch of these girls to set an example for you, to show you that there is kindness in this world. But the reality of it is that as soon as you open this door, there's going to be shit flying your way, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that we always talk about is how there's certain kids that are not in the same level of play, and their parents are always praising them. While us, it's a lot easier to bring our kids down. And you stop and think about, why are you doing that? Why are you being so hard on your kid when you know that your kid is at a certain level while other kids are nowhere near yours, but yet they're getting all these praises? Why aren't What is it that you're doing wrong at that point, right?
But is it wrong or that we are not because we have that expectation and we know, like I know what my son is capable of doing, and I know that when he's not giving his 100%, it's because he chooses not to, right?
Right.
So versus a kid that is not at that level, but the parents are praising them,
Right.
isn't that false hope? You know,
Yeah.
it's like for example, what some people say is like, oh well, now kids are getting trophies no matter what place they get.
Go ahead, bro.
You
But
know,
I think what it is, Chris, and I think what it is that differentiation comes in when you're coaching and when you're the parent. When you're
right?
coaching, you can say, "Mira, you're doing this and you're great. You're better than the rest, but I want you to be up here." That's me
Yeah,
coaching. And you know what? We're gonna do this and this and this, and we're gonna get you to here. Okay?
right.
Because I know you can do it. You do this, you do that. Boom. Take off your hat, mijo. You're doing great. Okay.
No, no, no. But
Yeah,
I'm talking
I'm
about
pressure on you. But
somebody
that's what I'm
that
saying.
is not a coach.
No.
You
But
know,
but
a
that's what I'm
parent
saying.
itself.
I'm saying a parent telling somebody that they're doing great. Hey, they're not the coach. Give them your praise. Give them the support. Let the coach them. You know what I mean? You wanna help with better than like, hey, mijo, look, I think you can do better. I'm not the coach, but I can help you with this and that. All right, chido. But you
So
you give the praise.
To,
you
You
to
as
give
a
that
the
point,
praise and
coach,
you give support.
what do you do? You as a coach, what do you do in those situations? You know,
uh,
when they're feeding the wrong information.
so you got to be up and honest, right? Again, this is rec. Everybody pays money for your kid to play,
Yeah,
right? Everybody pays money, so you're expecting your kid to play, and whatever opinion you have about your own son, your own daughter, at the end of the day, that's your own opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
of
What you're
course.
gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and respect whatever their parent believes of their son or daughter, but you're gonna suggest. And there's a difference between suggesting, right, and identifying.
Yeah,
There's got to be a difference there. And again, you come and ask me for my opinion, you're opening the door for me to tell you like it is,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
right? And a lot of
yeah,
parents
definitely.
understand that. We've been through that road, right? So we know we're not going to ask that question because down deep inside, we know what our kid can do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So again, back to that point. For me, I think the joy of coaching comes from seeing someone get better, seeing someone enjoy the love for the game and wanting to come back and return, right? Walking around the fields and hearing, hey, Coach Danny, hey, Coach Danny, hey, Coach Danny,
yeah,
hey, Coach Danny, I want to be in your team next year. That's
yeah.
how you know that you made a positive impact in this young lady's world, right? And again, we like to invest in the girl dad term. We love it. Those that have that opportunity to be dads of a girl, we cherish that, right? And by us going out there and getting in a situation where you're going to make an impact in a young lady's life, right? That's satisfaction enough if you are able to understand it, identify it, and most importantly, put it all into play. That's what it comes down to. And that's what I enjoy. I lost my voice today. I was yelling for an hour and a half right before I got here. But again, seeing these girls' joy, right? Win, lose, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that you give it your best effort,
Did
right?
you have fun?
And that you have fun. And as
Yep.
cliche as it might sound, the reality is that if you believe it, the rest of that team around you will believe it as well.
Simon.
Yeah.
Let me flip it on you a little bit, Danny.
Go ahead.
As you were a kid, did you get coached by your dad?
No, no. So yeah, so that's a different dynamic, right? Again, I grew up with a single mom, right? I lied to my mom about playing football in high school. I forged my release forms in high school. My mom didn't find out I played football for a while. As I was a kid, I used to take the bus by myself to go to the park to meet up with my soccer team. And then my coach would drive me back home. That was the struggle, right? I sucked at soccer, apparently. I thought I was really good, but, you know, the few times that my mom saw me said, nah,
It's
you
not
ain't
for
it,
you.
Nico. But again, so it was different, right? So now that I have kids, now that I have the ability to give them back that, what I miss, right? What I miss,
Yeah.
I think at that point, that's the satisfaction for me, man. I think just being out in the field with them, right?
Yeah.
And the crazy part about it is that my mom will make it her very best effort to be at these young ladies' games, and that's again for me, that's it.
Also because and my parents did the same thing when they were alive. They did the same thing with my son, um, because they also learned and they realized that they didn't do that with us. You know,
Right,
my dad would take me to the practices and to the games, but he was never the dad that se quedaba a ver. He would walk around or se quedaba en el carro, or I'll be back in 2 hours or something like that.
right,
Um, and my mom never really went. My mom, a housewife, just uh, by the time we got home, the food was done, all that stuff.
right,
But it's one of those things that I tell my son and I tell my daughter, you guys not only have to be grateful, but you guys are lucky that you guys, even though your parents are not together, you guys are lucky that both of your parents are involved in anything and everything that you guys want to do, because we want to make sure not only do we want to enjoy you guys, have fun, learn and grow, but we also want you guys to be proud of us that we're there with you guys. You know, y no es forzado. I love going to my son's practices. I love going to his games. But saying that, this past basketball season, I learned also that there was games that my son didn't want me there. You know,
yep,
because I was turning into that dad coach. You know,
Everybody, everybody hates the dad coach.
I was turned
Yeah.
into that dad coach, and the two games that I missed, not because I couldn't or because I didn't want to, is because he was like, Dad, I just catch the next game. You know, I veces he didn't have a way to tell me, so that he wouldn't hurt my feelings. And those two games that I missed, he balled out, bro. Triple doubles on both. And what does that tell you?
Right.
The problem wasn't him. The problem was me. I was being too much of a dad coach.
Adding pressure that he didn't
So
need.
I had to learn also to take it a notch down and enjoy the game for what it is.
Yeah.
Not coach him. He already has a coach. Let the coach do his job. And if after the game my son has questions about how he did, then I'll relay whatever information it was.
You know
But
what?
I had to learn that the hard way, bro, and it really hurt. It really
Yeah.
hurt because I felt like my son didn't want me there.
Yeah.
But I had to learn that it wasn't that. I had to
Yeah.
learn that it was me that was, like you said, putting unwanted pressure. Uh, which I also kind of flipped it on him a little bit. Being a salesperson, I'm like, well, okay, you don't want that unwanted pressure, but once you get to a high school level or even AAU, the pressure is going to be around you, mijo. And you're also going to have to learn how to mentally erase that and you concentrate on the game, right? But obviously at that time it wasn't what he needed. It wasn't what he wanted. Whether he learned that after, I guess we will see in this coming up season. We'll
Right.
Yeah.
see what happens because now it's not going to be just me. It's going to be a whole gym full of other parents
Right.
and other people in there.
So to give you guys a different perspective, right? Because you guys are both going through it right now with the coaching and stuff, right? So growing up, my dad did coach me, and for me, a lot of that coaching went home. So I got it at home too. So it didn't stop. So what ended up happening is, did I get better? Yeah, I got a hell of a lot better, and I played in college, and I made the national team. Or I think I made a lot of good shit. Like I was trying to offer the U.S. the like the under 15 national team. Like I did well, but there was always the pressure from my dad. Like I remember, dude, I remember he would make me go home and kick a tire in the backyard because I was playing soccer. And I was a sweeper. So, dude, thinking back now, like, damn, a lot of that shit helped me out. I was fucking badass. I would crack fools and it was good. Like, I was fine.
But at the
But,
moment, you don't think that.
oh, no
Yeah.
way. It's my, I would start kicking the tire, but out of anger, right? Like, fuck, I don't want to be out here fucking kicking the fire. Yeah, el partido, yeah, when I was growing up, like, damn. But what happened from all of that is, and I remember in high school he would go watch my games, and he would watch my games, and even in high school he would always be like, no se te quita la, no se te quita la costumbre de whatever it was, I don't even remember anymore, pero no se te quita, no se te quita, and then it was stuck with me, right? I got to college. In college, I was able to take a leap in technical skill, and it got to college, and he would just go to my games, and I would always look for the validation.
Right.
Dad, how'd I do? Hey, ¿qué viste? ¿Cómo ves? ¿Viste cómo viste? Like I would try to like get him to give me some positive feedback because growing up, it was very, not that it was negative, but it was always like I never got the good job, good job. It was
Yeah.
like andas, pero te falta esto, te falta, it was always like, you know, and so it was always like trying to find the validation as I got older, and when I got older, he didn't really say, no, está chingón, no. He would just be like,
Okay.
okay, está bien,
Yeah.
ahí vas.
You know what's crazy? One of the favorite phrases we love to say as parents, right? In anything. So you'll thank me later. You'll thank me when you're older,
Simon.
right? You'll thank me later. Trust me, you'll thank me later. But the reality is that we're in the moment. We're in the now. Appreciate the now before the later, right? The later's gonna come no matter what. If you're gonna
And maybe it won't. You don't fucking know.
Exactly, right? But at the moment, enjoy what's now. Because back to that point, right? I'm still waiting for you know, that gratification, right? Like, hey, trust me, when you get older, you'll understand. When you get older, you'll understand. But why not take care of the moment now and really enjoy the moment now? And I think that's one of the things that again we take for granted because back to your point, Freud, what if it never happens? Then what? Damn, I should have done shit differently 15 years ago, right? And it's just it's not easy,
No,
but
It's
it's not.
also hard to learn if you don't have somebody in your ear constantly reminding you.
mm-hmm,
You know, I tell my kids all the time. I go, "I'm sorry, man. You guys, and not just with sports. You know, with school too. Uh, you guys are gonna get tired of me. You guys are gonna get tired of me. You're gonna call me a broken record, whatever you want. I know it works because it works, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. You know, because it's your life at stake. It's your future at stake, and I want to make sure that you learn.
right,
You know, from whatever mistakes you can make, to also learning from your wins. You know, if we don't let these kids also también fall, suffer, or go like you said, go through a loss, learn from a loss. They're also not going to learn the whole sport. Like Ed was saying, we have to teach sports so they can learn, you know, how to win. They can also learn how to lose, and they can also learn to finish something that they started.
yep,
Simon.
Right.
yep,
Um, and I think that's the main importance of a sport. You know, is to finish the season. Oh, what
Well,
place did we get, coach? What place did we get? Oh, we got third, or we got fourth, or we got second. Oh, guess what, guys? You know, we actually won the league or whatever it is, you know? But it's finishing whether you're last or you're first, you know, but finishing and finishing strong with the mentality that, you know, this year I learned something, or this year as a coach, it was tougher on me, but you know I was able to get through it because I learned how to deal with this issue.
right,
Simon.
I learned how to manage this type of person, or said that kid did have a disability. You know what? It was tough, but I kind of thank him for being in the team because it made me a better person. It made me a better coach. It made me realize and be thankful for, you know, my daughters, you
yeah.
know, that don't have to go through stuff like that, or that do have to go through it, you know.
If you want to have a positive impact on somebody, okay, you have every ability to do so. But the reality of it is that it's hard work, and
Yeah.
people are afraid to put themselves in that situation. I do this for that same purpose. I
And,
want to
and
make
Danny, and Danny, let me do this. All right, I'm gonna. This is gonna be like the Jerry Springer final word.
you got it.
All right, keep telling what you're saying, but to give all the papas out there that are thinking about coaching,
Yeah,
that are coaching, any mamas that might be listening to hear the train of thought that maybe papas would have, like what advice would you give from your experience?
yeah. So my final thoughts on that. My final thoughts are simple. Understand that you have a job to do, and that's to create a positive impact and a positive experience. If you're not committed to doing that, then don't even sign up for it. I'm just going to be straight and up and honest with you guys. When it comes down to it, it's hard work, and you have to be committed to putting in the work. But I guarantee you that the reward at the end of the day is that smile on the young lady's face. And I think that's the reason why I do it. So if you're willing to commit, you have to commit 100%. And if not, it's okay. There's someone else there. But most
That
importantly, do
is,
your part. Do your part when you're at home as a dad.
yeah.
And again, that's for you to be there by your daughter or your son's life, and you know, get them to be better. If you don't want to commit, so but have fun. Most importantly, have fun.
Have fun, be there, be present, Learn to take off your hat when it's time to take off your coaching hat, and be a dad. Be a papa when it's time to be a papa, and be a coach when it's time to be a coach. I like it. Danny, I appreciate you for jumping on, man.
Thank you.
It's always cool when we get like just different people to join us. We've had different guests for different reasons. Whenever you got something you want to talk about, it, man, let me know. We're glad you have you back on here and chat it up with you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm down. I'm down for whenever, whatever. As long as I have time, man. Again, softball right now, it's a little bit hectic, but I enjoy it, and yeah, man, I'm definitely excited to join you guys again one of these days.
Yeah, it's usually second and last Tuesday of every month. So
You got it. I'll make sure I write that one down, Chris.
But yeah, but other than that, Chris, you got any Jerry Springer final thoughts here?
no, I'm good, bro. You are not the father.
It's the wrong show, bro. That's Maury. But other than that, guys, appreciate everybody for jumping on. We look forward to speaking with you guys. Gosh, when is it? It's gonna have to be in
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. So last week of the month, we'll have a good chat with everybody. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, so make sure you check in with any of your papas out there. Make sure they're doing okay. You never know what's going on in people's life. You never know what's going on in people's world. So make sure you check in with each other. But maybe that's what we'll talk about next time. So we'll go from there. Other than that, good night, guys, and thank you for joining us. And we'll see how this YouTube thing works out.
See you guys.